I realize I'm not male. And I realize I'm not MatPat. But I'm gonna do a game theory. Hey everybody! So if you follow my Twitter, which if you don't, you really should, or if you watch BBC, or you watch CNN, you watch Markiplier, you watch anyone really, then you probably know that E3 is in full and total swing. Now for those of you who either live under a rock or just don't care, E3 is like the Christmas but for gamers. Huge companies like Microsoft, Nintendo, and PlayStation show off their consoles, and in turn, publishers like EA, Ubisoft, and Square Enix show off their games. There are plenty of CG trailers which look awesome, but then when they get on the shelves, you get all disappointed because the game probably sucks. And can I just say I'm excited about Unravel? The creative director was so adorable. He was so nervous. Anyway, basically E3 is just so exciting, and because it's exciting, I want to be a part of it somehow, some way. And of course, since I play video games, and of course there's anime-related video games, I can talk about those, right? I mean, there's the Attack on Titan for Nintendo 3DS and also computer. There are plenty of Tales of Symphonia games and the like that have anime-like cutscenes. And of course, we have plenty of mecha games out there, so there's something for me to talk about since I'm like the anime theorist reviewer thing, right? Yeah, but I like to think of myself as like the Studio Gainax of anime YouTubers. I do things either to make you mad or it's just so out of left field that it surprises you. The punchline is that I'm doing a theory on Oichi's ending in Samurai Warriors 3. Now, for those of you who don't know, Samurai Warriors 3 is just a hack and slash video game where you get to play one of the many warriors and their wives or sisters or whatever from the Sengoku period or Warring States period of Japan. Now, for those of you who have actually played the game, you're probably wondering, Luca, why are you talking about that game? Everything is pretty much as it says on the tin. It's about a bunch of samurai trying to kill each other with a few ninja thrown in. And while this is pretty much true, it also holds true that it's historical fantasy. It raises questions of what could have been, what should have been, what was the right answer to a particular situation. And while Oichi's route doesn't exactly answer or have any of those, her ending is nonetheless very interesting, if not puzzling. So first, let's talk about the woman in question. We're talking about Lady Oichi, the younger sister of Oda Nobunaga, yes, the infamous one, and also the wife of Nagamasa Azai. Within the story, Nagamasa and Oichi have a very fluffy and sappy and Disney-esque relationship thing. However, it is, of course, doomed not to work because Nobunaga and Nagamasa are only allies because of Oichi, and because Nagamasa thinks more about honor than anything else, he decides to side with the Asakura when Nobunaga decides to sit down and kill off that clan because he wants power. Oichi, of course, decides that she's going to stand by Nagamasa, but Nagamasa pushes her away, and then the ending happens. Within the ending, she's going down the same trail that she went down the first time when we first see her. She gets down, she goes through the field, and then she stops at the tree where she first met Nagamasa. Now, this is where things get interesting, because she starts crying, and suddenly she stops, and she says, "It's here, my lord, the land of peace you always wanted is here." And then the wisteria flowers do a wind effect, and then it hits to the credits. That's kind of suspicious, don't you think? I mean, that's really kind of suspicious. I mean, throughout this whole entire game, you have pretty obvious endings. For example, Kanbei's ending, he dies at the end. Kiyomasa kills him. There's nothing else to be said. He dies. In Hideyoshi's ending, it shows that, yes, he managed to unite Japan for a short time. The land is happy. Yippee. Pretty obvious ending, am I right? But why does Oichi get a very strange and not quite to the point ending like everyone else? Well, let's take a look at history before we take a look at G.A.M.E. In history, Oichi, yes, she really was the younger sister of Oda Nobunaga, and yes, she really was married to Nagamasa. Was their relationship all gooey and purple prosy like shown in the game? No idea. But I do know that Nagamasa really did side with the Asakura out of honor, and that he really did lose the battle of Odanai. I probably pronounced that wrong. I'm very sorry, Japan. Now, when he lost the battle, Nobunaga insisted that he get his younger sister back, which Nagamasa complied and sent her straight on back to the main camp of the Oda. And then the house pretty much was destroyed, and Nagamasa committed seppuku within it. In the game, it shows pretty much the same thing happening, kind of. It shows that, yes, Nagamasa won in a one-on-one battle against Nobunaga, but the Azai forces were completely crushed by the Oda. Going straight to history, we can see what happened right after that battle. Nobunaga eventually died because, people started to hate him because he was killing monks and stuff like that. And then things started happening in Japan. Without its leader, it began fracturing. Lots of different retainers and everybody else wanted to sit down and take over Japan. As such, Oichi was once again used as a peaceful marriage. However, instead of Nobunaga marrying her off, because he's a corpse by now, his third son decided to marry her off to one of the retainers in order to be loyal to the Oda name. That retainer's name was Katsuie Shibata. Now, this is where the story gets interesting, because Katsuie was eventually pretty much destroyed by Hideyoshi Hashiba, or Toyotomi, depending on the time period. And when this was happening, Katsuie insisted that Oichi flee. However, she refused to. In fact, she sat down and took up a sword and got her 3 daughters to safety before going back to Katsuie and committing honorable seppuku, or suicide, with him. Something she didn't do with Nagamasa. So now let's take a look back at that game. So we can pretty much say that in history she may not have the most lovey of love life, but in the game she did. She really loved Nagamasa, and yes, she may have more than likely had 3 daughters and a son with him. Yes, we know that Nagamasa died. So now that we've looked at the historical and game aspects, we can finally sit down and actually interpret what that ending means. And we can do that with the most basic clue there, the wisteria tree. Now, the language of flowers, most people know that it was made big and popular by Victorian era. And if you looked at the Victorian language of flowers, you probably understand what wisteria means. However, this is Japan, and Japan has its own language of flowers, and within Japan, the wisteria tree means love. It also means something else, but we're going to interpret it as love. Why, you may ask? Well, isn't it obvious? Nagamasa and Oichi met under a wisteria tree. He gave her wisteria flowers. She comes back later on and mourns at the wisteria tree. It's pretty much safe to assume that it means love in this instance. And it's pretty much also safe to assume that Oichi committed suicide there. At the very end, we get a sudden shift in tone. At first, she was sad and sobbing, but then she says that the peaceful land that he always dreamed of came to pass. She is probably coming back by the time of the anniversary of his death, or the anniversary of them meeting each other. And on top of that, the shift in tone and the wind effect given, her suddenly getting so hopeful, that comes from something big in the game. In the game, Nagamasa promises to see Oichi again when a land of peace is wrought. But Nagamasa never lives to see that. It's safe to assume that the time of peace that Oichi is living in is during the time that Hideyoshi Toyotomi finally unified Japan a short period of time before his fateful demise due to disease. Or maybe poisoning, who knows. Her going back to that wisteria tree was her paying homage to her husband. But it was also so she could finally release herself from all the pain and misery of not having him anymore. So she could see him again. Or it was just a wonderful wind effect. I mean, whatever suits you. So guys, I hope you liked that video. In all honesty, I was so excited to make another theory video. I had been playing Samurai Warriors for days and days and days on end. And when I saw Oichi's end, he's like, yep, perfect for a game theory. And I'm not saying it in that way because I do not want to get taken down for copyright. So guys, I hope you enjoyed that video. I mean, I have been playing Samurai Warriors for days and days and days on end. And it's like, as soon as I finish Oichi's ending and then I finish Nagamasa's ending, he's like, yep, I got a theory. I finally have a game theory. You have to do this. And guess what? It's not Five Nights at Freddy's. Isn't that amazing? So, this is what I want you to do. If you liked this video, if you liked E3, if you liked anything at all about this video, or anything else in life really, click that like button below. And also, if you have a theory of your own based on the Samurai Warriors universe, or something about E3 you want to tell me, for example, the Ubisoft thing, I did not see it. I was busy cooking. I didn't see it at all. I hate time differences. Then tell me in the comment section. Or, if you want to get off the subject of E3 because you're not a gamer, then let me know what you want me to do next. Do you want me to do a review, a rant, an anime classroom, or another theory of some type? Then let me know. And, so you know I kept my promise. I'm a woman of my word. Then please click that subscribe button because everything wants to get all up in your inbox. See you guys!
「地獄も先は」